Hey guys, how you doing? Fragrance Professor back at it again. In today's video, I want to come at you. I'm going to try to keep this fairly short, but these are some of my favorite vintage cheapies. These are ones that are from, let's say, the anywhere from the 70s to the early 90s, and they're ones that I know you've probably heard of. You may have them in the collection already, and they won't break the bank. And these are some of my favorites. They just sort of bring back this nostalgic feeling for me, and it's always great when you can pick up some of these, or a lot of them, and not have to break the bank. So that's what we're going to look at today. I have 5 of them for you. These are in no particular order. I didn't try to rank these in any way, but here we go. The first one is Lagerfeld Classic. Now, this is from 1978, and I believe it was called Lagerfeld Cologne at one point early on. They did change the name, I believe, at some point along the way, relatively recently, but this is a great one for those of us that, we want to smell mature. We want to smell like, we have a bit of gravitas behind us and so forth. And it's complex, but it is mature. I'll give you a few of the notes. It's got citruses, tobacco, rose, tonka bean, oak moss. There are a lot of other ones. As I think is the case with all of these, there are just a whole host of different notes and things like that. So it smells really nice. It's a very rich fragrance. I do get a lot of the citruses up top, and it's very luxurious smelling. I mean, I think for the price, and I don't remember the exact prices, and prices are always changing. And of course, it depends on where you get them, what website and so forth. Hopefully you're getting these on discounters. I think that probably is the best way to go about this, especially the ones that I'm going to share with you today. Hopefully it won't, break the bank, $25, $30. I'm thinking, don't hold me to that, but that's kind of what I'm thinking. But this is a great one. And you can see I've put a pretty good little dent in that for not reaching for it too terribly much. But when I do, I really do enjoy it. So that's the first one, Lagerfeld Classic. The next one that I wanted to share with you is Zino by Davidoff. Now, this is one that I've talked a good bit about. Over the last couple of years, I actually featured it in several videos, and for good reason. I kind of keep coming back to it. This is a 1986 release. It's really good. It's very dark. It's very woody. It's very mysterious. Brazilian rosewood, jasmine, patchouli, a couple of the notes. Again, all of these just have a whole host of notes, and I don't want to bore you with that. And I don't think it really tells the whole story. It's just scratching the surface. But I would suggest getting your nose on this. I've seen it on discounters, and I've had this bottle for a couple of years, and I'm not able to see kind of where the juice is when I have to get it up to a bright light. But I always see this marked down, something to the effect of clearance. I don't know what that means. I'm thinking one of the discounters in particular. Every time I see it, and I've always thought about getting a backup bottle, it's around $20, 19 and change, and it always indicates clearance. I don't know what that means, but if you don't have a bottle of this, I would really recommend it. Zino, Z-I-N-O, Zino by Davidoff, and I'll put all the names of the fragrances in the description box. All right, next up, we have another favorite of mine, and this is a smaller bottle. I'm looking here, 1.7 ounce, that's 50 milliliters. This is Azzaro, the original Azzaro pour Homme. Now, this one actually dates back to the late 1970s, 1978. It really has a nice barbershop vibe. And again, this is one that you can pick up. You don't have to use it every day. These are the ones that I just like to have, and I may reach for it a lot. I mean, you can see I've put a pretty good dent in that. Probably should get it back up, because you never know when these kind of fragrances are going to be discontinued. So I'll give you a few of the notes: lemon, star anise up top, vetiver, cedar, leather. I smell a bit of ginger in there, but I don't see that listed necessarily. I was just looking at the note breakdown. the full note breakdown. I didn't see ginger, although that I believe is sort of tossed out there every now and then, when people are discussing it. I don't think ginger is an official note, but I do get a hint of that. So Azzaro pour Homme, okay. Again, not going to break the bank, and it's a great one to have in the collection. All right. Next up, and this is one that I wore a lot as a teenager. One of my early favorites, Eternity for Men. This is the EDT. Now, more recently, they did come out with an EDP. I like it, but it doesn't have the nostalgic vibe to it. To me, it smells a good bit different, actually. I do still prefer the EDT, which is this one. This was a 1990 release, Calvin Klein, of course. I'm sure you're familiar with this. Citruses, it does have a very, very aquatic, very, I don't know, almost happy sort of vibe about it. It really encapsulates the early 1990s to me. This is one that you can wear, most any time of year, although I think probably warmer weather. It's just so good. I just really get a kick out of applying it and using it, and I just enjoy it a lot. It's got some florals, but it's got some citruses. Again, just very airy, very light, very refreshing, and for me, very nostalgic. So Eternity for Men, and again, this can be had for, I don't know exactly what the prices are nowadays, but I would guess on discounters somewhere maybe in the 30s to low 40s, Eternity for Men. Again, the EDP is not bad, but if you want to go with just one and you're going for that nostalgic vibe, I would point you in the direction of the EDT. Last but not least, if you're familiar with this, you recognize the bottle immediately. This is Giorgio from Giorgio of Beverly Hills. Giorgio for Men, I believe, is the official name. But this was another one that I wore way back, as a 16, 17-year-old. This was an 84 launch, and it was always one that I had in the collection, early on. As I recall, I never got through the first bottle that I had because it is very unique smelling, very different than other things that were out there at the time, and still very unique. There are some fruity notes up top, some citruses, but then it gets into some honey, some sandalwood, things like that. It is a strong fragrance. So even now, and I'm sure it's been reformulated. I seem to remember, you can look at the coloration there of the juice. I seem to remember that it was a bit different in terms of the coloration, way back. I know it's been reformulated, but to me, it's still pretty powerful. It'll get you noticed, and you may have to watch how many squirts you apply because it is strong, despite, all the inevitable reformulations and so forth that I'm sure it's had over the years since that 1984 launch. So again, Giorgio for Men from Giorgio of Beverly Hills. All right. So guys, we're going to go ahead and end it. Again, I was trying to kind of keep this in the 7 to 8 minute range. Do you have any of these? Do you have some other ones that you'd like to share? What have been your experiences with this kind of thing? Drop me a line. Let me know down below. And again, if you're not yet subscribed, love to have you along. Feel free to subscribe. All right, guys, that'll do it. Hope you have a great rest of your day. Thanks for dropping by, tuning in, and spending a part of your day with me. I'll catch you in the next video. All right, take care. Bye-bye.